Recorded live from the Podcast Studio of America, located in Lancaster, Ohio, it's the Joe and Dan Podcast Show.
Hello, all you people. Thanks for giving us a listen. You've got the locally famous Joe and Dan Podcast, listened to by literally 3 or 4 people of discriminating taste.
And it's the biannual Joe and Dan Podcast Show, I might add. It's been a while.
That's right. I'm Joe, and I'm here with the one, the only, the man with the plan, hipper than all Afghanistan. Say hello, Dan.
Hello, Dan. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing great. How you
Welcome
doing?
back. I'm good. It's been a while. I mean, we seem to say that every time we have a podcast.
I don't understand it. We have so much fun when we do this.
We do.
We should do one every day.
We are missing somebody here this podcast, aren't we?
Yes, we're missing Britt.
We're missing Miss Britt. So I think she had to work. So we miss you, and so hopefully we can handle this without you. But maybe you can call in. I don't know what's going to happen. She might call in. She might not. But we figure we need to get a podcast underway. So here we are in podcast land once again. Joe, what's going on?
You know, you never know what you're going to see on our Facebook page. So if you listen to this and you don't like our Facebook page, please do. I just put on there if you can ask a question. So obviously it's going to be in real time. You never know. You might see something on there. Hey, ask a question. We get some really good questions from our people. Usually it's how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. But you know, whatever. We can delve into anything. Oh my God, that puppet sounded like it was really singing.
I just had to gargle, freshen my breath up a little bit.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I get the stale podcast taste in my mouth.
You can't have like bad breath on a podcast.
Wouldn't that be cool when they have a smell a podcast one day? It's all about listening right now. Well, you know, they got the video podcast. We haven't gone to that phase yet. We're just behind the microphone and in the earphones for the time being. We've talked about that though. We talked about doing a live video podcast because that seems to be pretty popular.
One thing we were talking about is doing a Facebook Live during a podcast, and that way, as we're recording it, you could watch and see how the magic happens. But one other thing, we've talked about taking the show on the road. If we can figure out how to do it, there's other issues with like if we play out in a club and had a live podcast, there's issues of if we project the sound, would the sound cause feedback? Would we be entertaining? You know, there's
a lot of other podcasts out there, and I know that you touch base with the what's the podcast you listen to, the Jock and Nerd podcast?
Jock and Nerd, yes, the Jock and
Nerd
podcast. They're my boys.
Giving a shout out to those guys. I know Joey is a fan of the Jock and Nerd podcast, so shout out to those guys. Maybe people like that could give us some pointers on how we could do a live remote, because we are purely amateurs sitting behind the microphones.
The Jock and Nerd podcast is a great podcast for comic book, movie, news, views, and whatever they choose. I found them last year after watching Avengers Endgame. I was blown away by that movie, and I wanted to find somebody talking about it, and because they killed off half the heroes, and it was fascinating. By the way, Dan, for the Jock and Nerd, they have a Facebook page, and somebody asked them if they could, people that have podcasts could give a 10-minute review of Avengers Endgame. So I'm probably going this weekend. I know you're not really into comic
that means I'm going to
movies.
have to go see the movie now.
Well, you can't. Yeah, you can.
I'm still waiting for Indiana Jones.
But you can. It would be like our Die Hard movie, Indiana Jones. Yippee-ki-yay!
See, but don't you have to have knowledge of the previous movies too? I mean,
or you could just. I
could do a crash marathon and just binge on previous movies.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
The thing is though, here's what you could do, and if the situation was reversed, what I'd do to you is you can just. I'm going to be like a schoolgirl, giddy and excited about this movie, and you can just make fun of me as I.
I'll sit behind you and throw popcorn at you.
Did you wear your cape?
and then I'll escalate the bombardment, and I'll elevate from popcorn, and I'll go up to the what are they called? Snow caps. Yeah, the chocolate morsels with.
You don't throw those things.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Boom, right in the back of the head.
Oh my man. So what's been going on with you?
Working a lot.
That's no fun.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to go on vacation here about another month.
Oh, where are you going?
We are going to go back to Myrtle Beach. We like it there. We're talking about going to like the Outer Banks, but we have some kids going with us, so we thought that Myrtle Beach had a lot more to offer for families. But there's a lot to do there. I go for the ocean. I don't care where I'm at, whether I'm in the Outer Banks, Myrtle Beach, or some small little town. If it's got a beach and an ocean, that's what I like. A little ocean getaway.
Now, do you go swimming in the ocean?
I do.
I don't.
I'm always leery about sharks, though.
Yeah, me too.
But they say the odds are very slim on getting a shark bite. I don't know
what I like is they're like, well, the shark bites you. He doesn't mean it.
No,
it was an accident.
He's just looking for food, and I happen to be the one that he's thinking I'm food.
Does that really make you feel better about the whole deal?
No,
it wasn't
not really.
He thought you were a seal, and he puked after he ate you. Oh, that's great. And I'm gonna go have a hunk on my leg for the rest of my life. Thanks, shark.
Just keep thinking of the Jaws theme. Don't, and you say it, Finn. However it goes. It's been a while since I saw that movie.
Close.
Shark.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. I was a little late on that one, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, I'm not as good as you. Is this better? So, I've never been to Myrtle Beach.
Every time we have dead space in the podcast, you just play that. Which we do. We have a lot of that.
We have a great editor that edits up and makes it sound really good. What's the name of our editor?
Dan from the Joe and Dan podcast show. I just go through post production. I just go through and cut out all the quiet spots and splice it all together. I shouldn't give away our secret, huh?
Oh, well, now the world knows. Now the 3 or 4 people that listen to our podcast. By the way, let's give some shout outs to people that listen to it. First off, one guy that always listens to our podcast, that's Big Tuna.
Hey, Tuna.
That's Kyle Russell.
Kyle, yep.
Brittany is fascinated by your Big Tuna name. If she was here, I'm sure she'd be like, "Hey, Big Tuna."
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be like from the 50s, the singers. Please welcome to the stage, the Big Tuna, and everybody got
Tuna.
He does a doo-wop song. Do.
Then we got my good buddy Cheese.
Cheese, that's cheesy.
You know what Cheese's
son?
Yeah,
you told me that in podcasts ago.
Oh, yeah, his name's Colby. His son's name is Colby.
I'm sure that was on purpose, right?
He listens to us.
Or it's just torment for his son. What's your name, Colby Cheese? All right, really, what's your name? It's pretty cool. It's unique. I think it's awesome.
What's funny about Cheese is he's got like 3 different names. He's got his real name, or in wrestling terms, his shoot name. And then he's got his Facebook page is like Raymond Pureface III.
No.
Because he heard it's a funny name.
Now, what nationality are they? Are they American cheese or are they a Swiss?
I did not see any holes in them. So. Oh, Diamond Dave. All right. Diamond Dave goes to church with me, and he used to bowl with me. He doesn't bowl anymore. He's actually a pretty good singer.
He gets into karaoke. Very good.
Yeah.
We've bumped shoulders with him occasionally here and there in the karaoke land. So here's to you, Diamond Dave. All right.
We always give a shout out to Bob Shover, but he never listens.
Bob from the B&K Getaway. We have referenced the B&K Getaway quite a bit. Bob's a cool cat. He's a cool cat. Got a really groovy hangout that he has built in his garage. It's basically a karaoke bar. Great time. Very creative production that he has put on there. In his garage. He has big parties and everybody comes over and sings karaoke and they have a good time. I've only been able to get there a couple times because they usually have their gatherings on the weekends and I'm always working, so wah, 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 wah.
Here's something to think about too, Bob. If you are listening, is there any reason why you can't do at least one of your parties on a Sunday night of a holiday 3-day weekend?
Yeah, I might be able to make that then. But everybody has to go to work the next day then.
No, that's a holiday 3-day weekend, bro.
Oh, yeah, well then I'd probably have to work then.
Boy, you're
well, no. No, I take that back. I probably would be able to make it. Yeah, I'd probably still work the same hours.
Your work is just party blocking us.
Yeah, I know. Creates blackout.
Man, I'm going to Vegas next week.
Ooh, Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.
That's
Hey, you
right.
got any Elvis cuts there to play for that?
Viva.
Viva Las... No, he's not queued up.
No,
sorry.
I don't. No.
Bad timing.
I need to find that
So-
other soundboard I had. That was sweet, but I went off of it. Now I can't
So
find that one.
when you go to Vegas, you're going for a bowling
Bowling convention.
convention. Now, what do they do at bowling conventions? Do they bowl, or do they talk about bowling, or do
Talk
they
about bowling.
have guest speakers that talk about bowling? Or?
They have elections. They have rules we vote on, and there's classes we go to.
What do they do for entertainment? Do they have anything for the bowling people out there to entertain them? Like,
Yeah, they call them slot machines. They're in all the casinos.
Oh,
in
okay.
airport.
So they don't have like Wayne Newton impersonators or
They've
anything.
got a couple things that it's they have like they have a motivational speaker comes in and talks to us, and they're usually really good.
And what do they talk about? How to bowl a good
No,
game, or the mindset?
Mindset.
The mindset. How to be the proactive, positive bowler in your mind.
Well, everybody here is part of a local bowling board that sets all the rules and does all the stuff for bowling. So USBC only puts pretty much their whole operation in the hands of local people, which is the way it should be. If you've got an issue with your bowling league or something, you don't want to talk to somebody far away. You want to talk to somebody in your neighborhood that can sort of know and come out the lanes and talk to you if you got an issue. So being reliant on all those people, they really need them to be in a good, positive state of mind when they're out there for stuff. So
That's why they go to Vegas. The Ohio bowlers go to Vegas.
well, we went to Reno last year,
You know,
but
we got-
Vegas is better.
We got casinos here in Ohio.
Yeah, sort of. You
Got
don't get. It's not a
Scioto
casino
and-
until they give you free beer. That's
Yeah, I don't think they do that here. Got the El Dorado, and which is the Scioto, and then there's the what's the other one? Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood Casino. They got those commercials. Come to Hollywood Casino.
Yeah, speaking of that, we've talked about doing voiceover work before, and I think that would be a good thing right now. You should do a little commercial for a Hollywood Casino or the Vegas thing. Give us your best DJ voice.
Right
do
now?
do a commercial. Yeah, do
right.
some kind of a commercial plug for a casino, or I don't know, or bowling.
Are you tired of sitting at home not doing anything? Why don't you go out and lose some money gambling?
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. No, please stop. Stop. Thank you. That's better.
Boom, boom.
All right, let me really try. All right, here we go.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you get away? Get away someone really nice like El Take Your Money Casino. We've got the hottest casino games, the best buffet. We've got the loosest
Try the
slots.
fish.
Try the fish. It's good.
Try the fish.
Try the fish. It's good.
It's on sale now. $5.99 for a buffet. Try the fish. It's good. It's good.
Fish? Sorry, man.
But then you go fried chicken. Everybody loves fried chicken, you know.
Being the resident Catholic on our Joe and Dan podcast show, we are pretty tired of fish now that Lent is over.
I bet you are. I'm not Catholic, so I eat whatever. I know.
God bless.
I know.
I come into McDonald's and they're like, he wants the 2 fish. I know right now.
I read an article today, as a matter of fact, that somebody said the article was what never to order at McDonald's, and it wound up being the fish.
Really?
Yeah, it was from an ex-worker that said if the fish sits in a drawer for hours, and then if somebody orders a fish, they throw it in the microwave and warm it up and then make a fish sandwich.
Well, not during Lent because so many people are eating fish. That I'm sure
Probably
they
right.
they
It's
don't
probably
lay
the
around.
best time to get fish, fresh fish. I think the best place to get fresh fish is somewhere by the ocean. I don't know. Every time I go on a trip and go to the ocean, it just, I don't know. I always want to eat fish. It's something about the magnetic draw of the sea and seafood.
Well, it is really nice. Now, like Timus's Fish Shack here in town, I'm friends with them, and they have pretty fresh fish. It's brought in frozen. I mean, it's been brought in cold, but it's not. I don't know if it's frozen or not, but it's packed in ice, and I think they get it from Lake Erie. It's perch, I believe, and it's really good.
Or you can go to your local casino and get the $5.99 buffet starring fish. Try the fish. It's good.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So in voiceover work, I know you had talked about doing some possible plug sample DJ thingies to submit to some radio stations to do some possible commercial covers or whatnot. Have you done anything with that?
Well, considering I asked you to help me with it and we haven't done it yet, no, we haven't.
Well, that was kind of a segue. Here we are. Why not do it on the podcast?
You want to do it? All right.
They could listen to the whole podcast. Well, you kind of did one already, but you got anything prepared over there?
No, but I'm loading something up my phone.
Okay. Well, we'll wait. You got any cricket sound effect while we're
waiting? Off that page.
Oh.
You're fired.
Sorry.
Yeah. You are not a good cricket operator.
In 3, 2, 1. It's finally here. The Cat's Meow tour has purred its way up to Marshall's Cove. We've got abstinence, British Shorthairs, Bermseed, Chantilly, kittens, Cornish Relexes, and some splendid Egyptian moss, Japanese bobcats, Maine coon cats, and many more. Did I mention our Russian blue, Persians, ragdolls, and pixie bobs? You won't want to miss this fine array of read more. Sorry.
Could you do something more simple, like maybe cereal? A cereal commercial?
What do we have here?
What are those about, cats?
I thought it was like a band, but
sell like a basketball or something.
All right, so here's food. Let's go to food.
Or you could be like a baseball announcer. Let's do the baseball announcer thing.
You want to do baseball?
How do they do baseball announcers?
All right, there's usually two, so you're going to be the other guy?
Right. Yeah, sure, I can be the other guy.
All right. Sure is a great day here at Red Stadium.
It's a beautiful day. I think both teams are ready to play ball.
Well, I think so, too. What do you think the key to victory is going to be, Dan?
I think the key to victory is being ready for the game, having a plan, attacking the plan, and executing it properly and have the most points. That's how they'll win. What do you think, Bob?
Well, definitely it's going to come down to who scores the most points. So.
And here comes a team on the field right now.
Boy, that's a lot of guys in shape.
I wonder if Canseco will be playing tonight.
I think he does drugs now. I don't think he plays baseball.
Okay, Canseco's out, and who's in the plug for him?
Coming up to bat right now is Mondo Chaffee, and he's actually listed from Puerto Rico, but he assures me that he is actually from just outside of Boca Raton, Florida, and so yeah, that's good. And it reminds me of a story. There was a place down in Boca Raton. I had a timeshare that I went into, and big waste of money, but just down the street from there was a deli. And the thing about Florida, swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
The thing about Florida is people come from all over the world. So you can get a nice Jewish bagel or you can go down the street and get some Greek food. And they had the absolute best shots. A hit. It's going. Oh, it went foul. Foul ball. Counts 0-2.
And Bob, they have good pastrami down in Florida. I've heard they make it really good down there. And batter's up to bat.
Yeah, ball. Okay, it's been... Homemade, you got to have it homemade. That's just the only way to do it. And, speaking of that, Thursday night is come to the stadium.
And it's a hit.
going to the wall. Off the wall, fielded. Runner at second base. That's infield double.
That was the wrong sound effect.
The crowd was pretty excited for that.
I needed a crowd cheer, not the applause. All right, so much for that.
And now a special word from Norte Refresher, health soft drink. Introducing a whole new kind of soft drink with real fruit juice, 10% of your daily calcium, and only 10 calories in every 8-ounce serving. It tastes so good, you can feel it in your bones. For delicious taste with calcium, the only way to go is Norte. These aren't real things, so.
How about...
Here's professional services.
What else could you sell?
Well, there's healthcare. There's an infomercial. Want to do infomercial?
Yeah, do an infomercial.
Beer. Damn you.
Presenting iPod, the first...
Wait. Start over.
Stay tuned for a nationwide giveaway announcement. Are you a man who's waking up at night again and again to use the bathroom? If you've got this problem, we've got your solution.
Awesome!
Doctor recommended beta prostine beta prostate, which is made of 13 natural ingredients that target your prostate. Imagine quicker bathroom trips, better relief, and more time in the sack.
I need that because I've always got to pee.
How was that? You think you got something there?
You're fired.
That's excellent. All right.
You're fired.
That was fun, wasn't it? That was fun.
Oh, shucks.
I don't know if everybody understood what you were saying there because you had such a slow, low voice, but oh well, it was funny.
Sometime.
I don't care who you are. That was funny.
Dan, when are we going to go to karaoke again? We used to karaoke all the time.
You know, I know. I miss it. I think you and I could put on a good karaoke show. Don't you think?
I think so. I know so, baby.
I know we've talked about that in the past. What will we do differently than other people? That's the thing. We're gonna have the mark because we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it differently. We're not gonna be like all those other boring karaoke shows. We're gonna be fun. We're gonna be
Fun!
For starters, I don't want to put anybody else down. Anybody's show specifically.
Of course not.
I hit that button on accident. I was saving that Godzilla screen.
Right?
Sorry. That one is on purpose. All right, so we're not gonna talk about specific people and what they do now, but I think something that is missing is first off, there's not a lot of customer service in the whole karaoke. Where we say karaoke, it's like
Got to be focused on the customer.
exactly. Even though you don't actually you work for the bar technically, but you're an extension of the bar. Even though you're technically an independent contractor coming in, but when people come up to put a song in, you should be made to feel important. I mean, not like they gotta like, jump down and suck your toes or anything crazy, but just come up, and when people come up, make them feel like they belong there. Take their song. Don't make fun of them. I don't care how bad they sing. Karaoke is not about singing good. It really isn't.
That's right.
There's a lot of good singers at karaoke. If anybody, I ran into a lot of big egos at karaoke. Now, Dan doesn't count. Dan is actually a very excellent singer.
Oh, stop.
And stop. Keep going.
Stop. Keep going. Keep going. More?
But some of these people, they think they're superstars, and no one's paying you a nickel to sing. So let's just point that out. No one's paying me a nickel either. I'm just saying we all suck. The other thing is to some places they'll put videos in between, or I think you could do like YouTube clips of different things just to break up the monotony. A 30-second clip of something funny happening on the screen. If you need to go through your list again or do something like that, I think would go a long way. Something that my friend Sarah, our friend Sarah, she moved to Florida, and the bar she worked at, they had a deal where in Florida liquor laws are a little different. So I don't know if you could pull this off in Ohio, but when you put a song in at karaoke, they took all the slips and they held them back, and they drew once a round for a free drink. So if you got a free drink just for singing karaoke, which I think that's pretty cool.
Well, I think we should give you a song. I think you should do a little karaoke right now on the spot. You know the lyrics? Come on. You know it?
I'm totally dancing right now. It's a long time till they start singing.
Right. You got the lyrics?
Nope.
Who's that whispering?
Who's that whispering
in the trees? It's two sailors.
It's two sailors,
And they're on
lead.
pipes and chains.
Pipes and chains
Swinging
and
hands.
swinging hands.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. The fat cat came to play. Now we don't play fast enough. I've done screwed these lyrics up, and I don't even care.
All right. Good job. Excellent. That's all it takes. You just have fun. That's all it's all about. That's what it's all about. All right. Or as Bob Ross would say, all right.
So Dan, let's see, we talked about our vacations. We talked about everything. All right. That was actually Dan. That was
No, that was Bob Ross.
100% just him.
Bob Ross.
Oh, there's a dating game soundboard.
Ooh, let's hear it. We like to use those soundboards. We like to integrate that in our podcast. We're a little different. We don't just talk the whole time. We like to have fun.
We don't do these podcasts
All
nearly
right.
enough because these things have really updated since the last time we've done it.
I've only been in this country 5 years.
That was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Lady number one.
Schwarzenegger.
I think this is all.
Was this from a movie or for the real thing?
All Arnold Schwarzenegger on the dating
Was
game.
it? So he was really?
Banky.
Was he really? Was he really on the dating game?
A lot of people were on the dating game. It was
You gotta stay close to your
a
microphone.
lot of
I can't hear you.
actors that would come out to Hollywood in between jobs would go on there because chances are the actors are pretty good looking, and like Pee Wee Herman was on the dating game in character the whole show.
Oh, I bet that would have been funny.
It's on YouTube. I recommend it.
Oh, you gotta find it. You gotta find it and play it.
He's 100% in his Pee Wee Herman character. And, like, bachelor number one, where would you take us for a date? Well, somebody nice, I guess. I don't know how he did exactly.
Bachelor number one.
Yeah. Where will you take me on a date?
He was the.
It's not a good.
He was one of the gentlemen that was waiting to get a date.
Was
He was on a couple times, and one time he won. Someone picked Pee Wee Herman out there. I wonder if they rode on the bicycle.
That's great. That's great. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up on YouTube right now. But you're gonna have to edit this down a little bit because hey, I'm clicking the buttons right now. I think Pee Wee Herman's a genius. I love him. He did have he had some issues with some inappropriate pictures on his hard drive, but
And then there was Andy Kaufman. He was a genius.
Andy Kaufman was strange.
He was.
man.
That's what made him interesting.
Do you ever watch any of his stand up?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the one where he'd play he would come out and he'd be with like his Laka voice. Hello, I come out and
Right.
do impressions for you. He'd be like, Richard Nixon, I not tell lie.
Right.
I turn into Borat for me, but whatever.
Yeah. He's the same character. He's just pretending he's
Yeah,
somebody else,
so
but
he
he
would
doesn't
turn
try
around-
to even doesn't even try to sound like him.
He would turn his head around and he would mess up his face like some would do, and he'd have the same voice over and over again. He goes, now I'm going to do Elvis. He turned around, did a spot on perfect Elvis. Like, hey, baby, I can't even do it. Spot on perfect Elvis.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Then he backs around, back to the Laka voice, doing a couple in a row. Oh, by the way,
What are you people? On dope?
that's what I should have played after that. That was Mr. Hand from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I read this article today on the new Cobra Kai series coming out, the second season. You saw the first season, didn't you?
I most certainly did.
That was good. That was the for all of you people that don't know what Cobra Kai is. It's the continuing. I don't know. Help me out here, Joe. The continuing saga of the Karate Kid, but in today's world, where Daniel is grown up and he's a successful car salesman, but the story is actually not based around him, but based around what was his name? Lawrence.
That's his last name was Lawrence. But
Well,
the nice thing about this show,
Johnny Lawrence, who was his basically his foe in the original Karate Kid. He was the mean bully guy, the other guy that he competed against in the final karate tournament, and Daniel LaRusso won by doing that cool swan kick to his face. But anyway, the story
would be the crane kick.
the crane kick. Whoa! But the story takes place today, and Johnny Lawrence is this kind of loser guy in between jobs and, living in a small dinky apartment, eating ramen noodles and all this stuff, just trying to make it. The story is focused around him. But anyways, I won't go into too much detail. You can catch Cobra Kai on YouTube, with the YouTube TV channel actually, or you can.
And that's the only way you can do it, Dan.
or you can get it. Whoops. Something on my computer is telling me to do something. Or you can get it through an app called.
No apps
Yeah,
whatsoever. That's illegal.
It's a
and
pirated.
we would not do that. You know
pirated-
why? Because it's wrong.
Okay,
No, don't do it!
Anyways, you can Google it and find out where it's at and catch it. It's good. It's good.
One thing
Try to fish.
what I like about it is in the movie, Johnny Lawrence, is that it? He was the bad guy
Right.
And
He was the blonde guy.
What are the fancy? I know a lot about movies. Antagonist,
Mm-hmm.
and Ralph Macchio's character was the protagonist.
Right.
In this, they're just grown up, and he's not like totally bad, and Ralph Macchio's not really totally good. They're just different people, and they didn't get along since when they were kids, which is interesting. How many of us have grudges from people we grew up with? I mean, there's a couple. I've officially forgiven every person that ever bullied me a little bit. Mm-hmm. I still hold a little bit inside of me. That's because I'm weak and I'm not. I wish I could say I totally.
But you're famous
everybody.
now. You're on the Joe and Dan podcast show.
I know, tens of people.
Tens of people.
Tens
Not
of
tens
people.
and thousands of people, but 10 people. 10 people.
We should say something like really bad on here, so in case it ever really comes up, see people were actually listening. Say something horrible and be like, "Can't believe you said that in your podcast." We'd be like, "Oh, you heard my podcast."
And Joe will go, "Dan forgot to edit that."
We'll just blame Dan.
But they were having an interview with Ralph. How do you pronounce his last name?
Macchio.
Macchio. Okay. And they were interviewing him and asking him about the Cobra Kai and how, he had been approached numerous times over the years to do a sequel or a remake, a continuing story of Karate Kid, and he just said no to everything because he had some. In fact, he had one pitch that was really wild. The story was that Daniel LaRusso grows up and has kids, and then his kids are related to Rocky Balboa's kids, because they all come from Italy, and it's about the Balboa kids and the LaRusso kids teaming up together to kick butt in some storyline. He said that was the most bizarre storyline that was ever pitched to him, and he said obviously no to that one. But something was different about the Cobra Kai. 3 gentlemen, their names escape me right now. It was in the article, but they pitched the story to him, which is the one that Cobra Kai is about. And he thought it was an interesting take. He had never heard it before, and he liked the idea. And so obviously he went ahead and said yes to this one because it was different than all the other ones, because the story wasn't focused on him. It was suddenly focused on the antagonist, Johnny Lawrence. So he liked that idea. So that's what it's about. But they were asking him some other questions about his career and everything. And I guess his favorite dream role was the one that he reflects on the most is the one in the movie The Outsiders. This was a movie before Karate Kid, and it had a lot of stars in it. Well, they weren't stars at the time, but they all later became stars, and they were all in this one movie. Ralph Macchio was in it. Tom Cruise was in it. Let's see who else. Emilio Estevez was in it. Matt Damon was in it.
No.
Matt.
Wait, hold on a second.
Matt Dillon. Was it Matt Dillon?
Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon. I'm sorry. And let's see who was it. Patrick Swayze.
Yep. Wait, I'm gonna equal time here.
Diane Lane. Diane Lane was in it.
That's
okay,
right.
Thank you. That's a good bell. That's the. Oh no, that's the bad bell, and then that's the good bell. Okay, and then I can't.
Sorry, wrong button.
I can't. That's all right. I can't remember the other guy. I think he was in.
C. Thomas Howell.
C. Thomas Howell. Yeah. And I want to say there was one more too, but I can't remember. But anyways, it was a bunch of actors, young actors at the time, and little did we know that, years later after this movie was made, that almost all of them became big stars in their own. But he said he loved that role. In fact, he read the book when he was, 14 or younger than that. Read the book, loved it, and particularly that character. And then obviously, miraculously, one day, he gets hired or makes the casting to the movie and gets to play the very role that he admired when he read the book. So that was pretty cool. I have to go. I have to see that movie. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I have not seen it. I'm gonna have to see that now.
Or here's something about The Outsider. It's written by author by the name of S.E. Hinton. Hinton? Is it Hinton or Hilton? Anyways, she was a high school student, finished up high school when she wrote it, and her publishers said use the initials S.E. because they didn't think anybody would take a woman serious. And she just noticed in her school the breakdown between the what they called in her school the socials and the preps. And what's interesting, she says now people still come up to her and said, we had that in our school. It was called something different. In my school, it was the preps and the hoods, but it was definitely the same deal. And there was a
we had the preps, the hoods, and the jocks.
Oh yeah, and with us the jocks. And
actually, less preps, and I went to a country school, so it was more jocks and the jocks and the hoods.
When I went to school, the jocks and the preps were pretty much the same. So I got the cast list here.
Yeah.
Did you mention Soda Pop Curtis, Rob Lowe?
No, I didn't. That's who I forgot. I knew there was somebody else.
You said Emilio. Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I mentioned him. Yep.
Diane Lane you mentioned.
Yep.
Leif Garrett was in it.
Leif Garrett. Okay, I didn't say that.
Tom Waits? He was a singer, right?
Yeah, Tom Waits is a singer.
And
Sophia, sort of a singer.
Sophia Coppola was the little girl in that, and the author was one of the nurses, S.E. Hinton. Anyways, there was an 8th grade class in Texas that wrote a letter. The whole class got together and wrote letters to her saying they would love to be that to be a movie, but because she got this, she went to her publishers, and that got the ball rolling, and that's how it became a movie. And it's actually, I believe it's in the credits where they thank that class for doing that.
It's awesome. I'm gonna have to see the movie now.
I think it's streaming out there.
Anybody else out there seen the movie? Just tell us on the Facebook or something.
You are the only one that hasn't seen this movie.
You don't know that.
Have you read the book?
No.
How did you get through? I think you have to read that. You're not allowed to graduate. You might have to go check with Fairfield Union. You might not be graduated.
I had to read Tale of Two Cities instead.
Instead of that, I watched
The Old Man in the Sea. I had to read that too, but I like that one. That was good.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Sorry.
Why, I'm Huckleberry Finn. That was a good book too.
I figured
Tom Sawyer.
I figured a way to put two soundboards up at once.
What was your favorite story growing up as a kid? Like the book. What was your favorite book when you were like in, I don't know, elementary, junior high school or whatever? Were you a reader in school?
Yeah, I really liked. When I was younger, I really liked Danny and the Dinosaur, and I liked the Henry Higgins books.
You're going way back.
Henry Higgins and Ramona. But in 2nd grade, I read Tom Sawyer. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a great book. How about the Hardy Boys? You ever read the Hardy Boys?
Didn't read any of those.
Oh, I read the Hardy Boys. Loved that.
Man, there's a real good sound effect I want to use, but it's not. I didn't like Huckleberry Finn as much as Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
I tried to.
Actually, the Tom Sawyer movie, I thought the Huck Finn character, I thought he was better than Tom Sawyer himself, but the story was around Tom Sawyer. Huck was just his friend, but walking around in the bib overalls and the bare feet and smoking the corncob pipe and living on the Mississippi River and talking like this.
I really got into
with the southern drawl.
I went crazy into reading probably in 7th grade, and it was my high school years when I discovered Stephen King. And it was forget about it then. I remember when class is done and they haven't dismissed yet, I'd bust the book out and I'd read it. I couldn't believe I get books like that at the school library too, about killing and death and crazy stuff. So then I would book ass from one class to the other one so I could read a little bit for the class.
And let me guess, the Stephen King books were always better than the movie, right?
Oh, 100%.
They always say.
They always are.
The books are always better than the movie. What was there ever a movie that was better than the book?
I believe Forrest Gump, the movie is 100% better than the book.
Yeah. I never read the book. I did see the movie, but I can see that. That was a classic movie. That'll live forever.
The guy that wrote Forrest Gump wasn't happy with it, and when he wrote a sequel to it, the first line in the book is, "Be careful if somebody ever wants to put your life in the movie. They're just going to change everything around the way they want it to."
Of course, when you put Tom Hanks in the lead role, I mean, come on. I mean, it's going to be good. He hasn't done anything for a while, has he? Tom Hanks?
I don't know.
What was the last movie he did?
Sully, 2016.
Oh, that's right. Sully, the one about the airplane pirate, the guy that lands the plane in the Was the Potomac?
Nah, it
Or
was
what-
in New York,
What
right?
river? Oh,
I don't know.
it was a river. And he saved everybody. He saved the plane.
I believe it was a river of the night that goes walking in my dreams.
In the middle of the
middle of the-
night, I go walking through.
But before that, he did
How many times you walk around talking lyrics to songs?
all the time. Bridge of Spies, Saving Mr. Banks, which is the story about Disney trying to get the rights to Mary Poppins.
Mm. Yeah, did you see the new Mary? I guess I got a new Mary Poppins movie out.
I did not watch that.
Didn't see it either. Of course, you saw the original, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Isn't that the movie where the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
That is exactly,
That's what I thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chim chimmery, chim chiroo.
Of course, you had Julie Andrews playing the part of Mary Poppins. She was awesome. I mean, I had a crush on.
Yeah, she
Had a
was
crush
hot.
on her. Yeah.
You know who else
She was
hot?
in Sound of Music. I mean,
Hold on,
she was
I can't
amazing.
think of her name. I watched the Mr. Rogers, Won't You Be My Neighbor movie, the documentary on him.
I didn't see that.
It's really good. And the lady that showed up in Mr. Rogers' Imaginary Land, you know, I was thinking of Lady Elaine, but Lady Elaine was that nasty. I'm using a puppet hand with my hand. That nasty, mean puppet. That was Lady Elaine.
Lady Elaine, wasn't that the one on yeah, when they went to the Trolley Land, right?
Yeah, but the woman that stood up, I was watching that and I was like, damn, she was hot. I never noticed that when I was a kid. I was like, wow. Mr. Rogers is an amazing guy. He's in I have a thing called the Joe Homeboy Club or something like that.
Mm.
And here's the people that are in it. Tino Ramos from Channel 10. He saved my ass going to work many times in the morning going to work. Because a lot of stations will be like, oh my God, it's...
What do you mean, like traffic reports?
Yeah, because he'd be out there and everybody says it's snowpocalypse. If there's any snow on the ground, because people will turn on the TV if it snows, and that means ratings. So if they hype up the snow, make it more than it is.
You're not supposed to watch TV while you're driving, though.
Before you leave, though. But he would actually stand out there and he would...
Folks, don't text to drive, and please don't watch TV while you're driving also.
He would rub his foot on the ground and show you how the snow really was. And
yeah.
okay, here
funny
she is.
thing is, though, you can tune in the previous year and they do the exact same thing. It's like snow is a big story, but it's like it happens every year, but it's like...
All right, so if you go on Google and look up Betty Aberline, look at her now. She's an older lady. She's quite attractive for an older lady. She's probably in her 60s, but she was a honey.
But you mentioned Mr. Rogers. That was a show that I think everybody watched when they were a kid. I mean, I know I did. I mean, there was Sesame Street and then Mr. Rogers.
I called PBS my channel.
Did you watch? Yeah, they had a lot. They still do have good kids programming. But did you watch Mr. Kangaroo?
Captain Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah.
How about Lucy's Toy Shop?
No, it was a little before my
Oh,
time.
okay, all right.
I saw
Lucy's Toy Shop was local. It came from Columbus.
Yep.
Yep. But Captain Kangaroo, Mr. Rogers, they were all syndicated.
Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Don't tell me I have nothing to do. I used to watch the Howdy Doody show, but I didn't know
I
it
remember
was
that.
it was one in color, and I found it on Amazon Prime. They got the 70s Mr. Rogers Howdy Doody show. It was really dumb. I don't know why I liked it.
Then there was the original Mickey Mouse Club with Annette Funicello and some of the other.
My mom used to tell me she started.
Big stars.
My mom told me she started the very first Mickey Mouse Club local. They would have local versions of it.
Oh yeah.
So she started one in Lancaster, like in the 50s.
The Lancaster Mouseketeers.
I don't know how. It was probably her and like two people, but whatever. That's a lot back
That's
then.
sort of like how many listeners we have for our podcast.
That's right.
I'm sorry about that. There was a fly on my shoulder.
You look at these, you get these things. I wanted something to be. I was really looking for the wah 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 wah, and I couldn't find it. So
I can do that. Wah, 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 wah. How was that? Was that good?
Shut up!
Okay, sorry. Jeez.
here it is.
So there it is. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh man, TV was great in the 70s though. It was like the golden era of TV.
Yeah, they had a lot of those variety shows on. Then I used to like those. That's probably why I like to watch like American Idol and The Voice, and because they're just, I mean, you just tune them in and pick up wherever and just kind of enjoy it, unless you're following the voting, I guess. But back in those days in the 70s, they had the variety shows. Probably the ultimate was Carol Burnett. That was like my all-time favorite. But, you know, there was like, what were some of them they had back? They had like Sonny and Cher. They had the Sonny and Cher show. They had the Donnie Marie show. They had Tony Orlando and Dawn. Barbara Mandrell, I think Mac Davis, even Glenn Campbell had one.
Oh yeah,
but
Richard Pryor had one too.
Did it really? And then, you know, they'd have people sing, and then they'd have guests on there that would either sing or they were comedians. And then my favorite part were when they did all the skits. Just those were great. And that was the best part of the Carol Burnett show for me too, was when they did all the skits, particularly when Tim Conway was on stage. He cracked me up. Tim Conway was
Don't speak
awesome.
English.
Tim
Sorry.
Conway.
I got excited. We got
That was English.
I love Donnie Marie. I was a big Donnie Marie fan.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Until I don't know. Then at one point I'm like, I don't know about all this. What about
It's when you got into big time wrestling.
let's see. Do you know who this guy is?
I'm having trouble with my phone.
Oh yeah, that was Red Fox. Am I right? The Red Fox.
Fred.
And what was his wife's name? He'd always he was deceased, and he'd always say, "I'm coming, Ethel," or whatever her name was. He'd always grab his chest, and he'd look up to the sky, and he'd say,
Elizabeth.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Is a big one.
It's a big one.
I can't believe they don't have that on here. He did that every show.
That was a good show. That was funny.
Who is this bimbo?
Yeah, they had good. Had good half-hour comedy shows back then too. Aside from the variety shows, like that was one of them, obviously. And then there was Good Times with J.J. Lawrence. What was he used to say?
Ooh, Dynamite!
Dynamite!
We have a question in from Kyle.
Kyle's got a question for us.
Big Tuna Russell.
Hey, Kyle.
By the way, whenever we talk about Kyle, Brittany, we're thinking of you. You should be here.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle asks, since they're doing a Bill and Ted's 3, would you want to see a Wayne's World 3? And if it happened, what do you think it would be about?
Well, first off, yes. And they would have to be the same actors, obviously.
I bet they would be.
The roles.
So they were on in the original skit. They don't Saturday Night Live, and in the movie, they were public access TV.
Yeah.
So I think they would be YouTubers because that's pretty much public access TV before it became that. So I think if I was writing the script, it would be like the everything went to hell. They're down on their lucks. They decided to just start YouTubing, and then stuff starts rolling again, slower and slower and slower, and just sort of kind of take the same plot of the first movie, but change it.
So they would
bit.
still be the same characters that they were, or would they have grown up and moved on to a different type of phase in their life, or do you think they'd still be the same?
You'd have to be older, but we all know old guys that are into classic rock. Raising my hand.
Well, like the Karate Kid thing we were talking about. It's now today's Karate Kid, but they're all grown up and they're different than what they were. Obviously, they're mature. They have their career. Well, at least Daniel LaRusso has a career, and the other guy really doesn't. He's between jobs. But would that be kind of what would happen with Wayne's World, or do you think they would still be the same two guys in the same T-shirts with the same haircut, still doing the same thing, or what do you think?
I think they would be. I picture them both have like not the greatest jobs in the world, but they're middle-aged men going through a midlife crisis. They want to do something again, so they decide just to do a YouTube show, and they're having fun, but it's not getting famous. And then something happens to make them famous again.
How about if they both, let's say they both had kids. They had a significant other, and they had kids. Kids were running around the house, and Garth's. He had one of his kids looks just like him,
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then
the dog looked like him in the show, so his kid's got to have the hair too.
And then the same thing with Michael Myers' character. What was his name?
Wayne Campbell.
Wayne. Yeah, Wayne's World. Pretty on. And then he would have a son that would, be a junior one of him. and then maybe they were doing their own thing and then have to be dads, but also when they both get together, they're kind of like they were when they were younger. That's an interesting.
It would be tough to do because the issues they had with Wayne's World was they took a show that was I don't know, a 2-minute skit and trying to push it out to a 30-minute movie. Because when they did the do you remember the first Wayne? Have you seen the movie? Because you haven't seen
Wayne's World, yeah.
When they go to Milwaukee and they're at the place where Laverne and Shirley is, and they started, we're gonna do it. They added that because they were running out. They didn't have. It was so hard to take that little skit and stretch it out to a half hour or hour and a half. So they added a bunch of stuff like that to make.
How about if they were able to, let's say they were left a fortune. Let's say they were one of their relatives died and left them a big company, or let's say a recording studio or something. So they now were the heads of the recording studio, and they're trying to be businessmen, but they're still, Wayne and Garth, and they get to rub shoulders with a lot of famous singers and stuff. And it's kind of like their genre is music. They're into the rock music, so that would have to play a role in it somehow, I think.
The plot of the second one, they had that big concert they tried to throw together, so
right,
we could they could do something like that.
And it was like, was it what was it? Was it Aerosmith or Kiss they had there? Was there?
Was it
Aerosmith? No, Guns N' Roses. Who was it?
I don't remember. The second one wasn't near as good.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I don't know. What do you think, Kyle? What's your thoughts on that? If there was a sequel to that, what do you think the storyline should be? And maybe we can talk about that on the next podcast.
Well, thank you. And you could get your own question on the podcast if you just let us know what you want to ask.
And hey, you know what? If you have some interesting things to talk about, maybe we'll have you sit in on a podcast, and that would be fun, wouldn't it, Joe?
Want another one?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Say it again.
Who was that? Play that again.
Okay, good.
That's Casey Kasem.
It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
They do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but don't understand it.
Now, see, I didn't hear him talk like that when he was on the air. They must have edited that part out.
Now, on with the countdown.
That's about time. That's right. This one is a long-distance dedication.
This may seem to be a strange request. Is Don on the phone?
Get over here!
Get over here now, Don. Get on the phone, because Casey Kasem's on. Hey, somebody's on the phone. I want to talk to you. Who is it? It's Casey Kasem. Who? Casey Kasem. The countdown guy. Tell him I'm busy. We can't tell Casey Kasem you're busy.
This a last time I want.
I didn't know he was so filthy.
We got to edit that.
Casey Kasem, you bastard, you. Hey, can you just edit some dings over top of that? Because that would be great. Or like they beep out the cuss words back in the day.
Yeah.
I like when they do that, when they beep it instead of they change it to where a guy's mad and he's clearly saying like the F word you, and they make it, hey,
Frankfurters.
Forget you, man. No, forget you.
Yeah.
Forget you, man. Oh, you told me. Forget you.
Forget you. Forget you.
This is what you were talking about earlier.
And boom goes the dynamite.
That wasn't quite that.
So anyway, yeah, that's a great concept. The return of Wayne's World 3.
I'm curious how they're gonna do Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, you almost said Back to the Future.
Yeah,
man,
I would watch it.
God, I would love to see another.
I would watch 17 more Back to the Futures.
I wonder if he could really pull it off. I wonder how bad he is now.
I don't know.
What's his name?
Michael J.
Fox, because he had, what is it, Parkinson's disease. But he was still out there doing things. I mean, you could clearly see that he was impaired. But God bless him. He's still out there trying to be visible to the public. Not, his disease might have progressed more, but man, I love those Back to the Future movies, and I don't think anybody could do it except Michael J. Fox. They couldn't be that character. I mean, That was
No,
his role.
Also, Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, Christopher. Is he still alive? Christopher Lloyd?
He is still alive. He's a producer on...
Marty,
He's a producer on Modern Family.
get to the DeLorean, Marty.
Did you ever watch Modern Family? Love that show.
Yeah.
If you out there in YouTube land and you know us and you're actually listening to this, you weren't looking for the Joe Rogan podcast on accident and hit us.
Because when you put our names in on the YouTube, you'll see Joe's. He's got a little podcast.
Joe Rogan podcast is excellent.
Yeah,
I highly recommend.
Joe Rogan's got a little podcast out there that comes up every once in a while on YouTube. Usually it's the Joe and Dan podcast that shows up. Ha ha ha! Funny, just the other way around. but anyways, yeah, he does have a great podcast. I like listening to his podcast. He's
the one with Roseanne was really good.
There's a lot of them that are good.
I like the ones when he talks to people that are somebody that's. I'm fascinated now by stuff that I have no interest in at all. It's crazy. Like, I'm never, ever, ever going to go hunting. I mean, I don't care if you go hunt. I don't care if somebody else does. If you have a great time hunting, I'm happy for you.
Let me guess. You loved the interview with Ted Nugent then.
I didn't hear that one, but he's got a bunch of different ones.
That was great. Yeah.
He was talking about this guy. He had this guy on the show that was, they had this, it was like a mountain lion of some kind that kept killing the deer. Mm-hmm. And just murdering it. It wasn't eating it.
Yeah.
So they thought something was wrong with it. So they tracked this thing for, I think 3 or 4 days. And they kept taking through these different kill sites when they tracked it.
Uh-huh.
And what they found out was the mountain lion wasn't killing those deer just for sport, what they thought it was doing. It was leaving the dead deer for the wolves. So when the wolves would chase after the cat, it would run by the dead stuff. The wolves, they'd be, hey, this one's not running. Let's eat it. Isn't that crazy?
Huh.
That was
so they would do it. He would do it as a survival tactic.
Exactly.
To leave the weak behind so that he could get away.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. It's interesting. Well, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of interesting things about the animal kingdom. I mean, I've caught some of those shows on TV where they go into depth about certain animals in the animal kingdom and stuff. I mean,
sure.
It's the kind of stuff when I was a kid, I was bored to death with that stuff. But now, as an older person, I just kind of find that fascinating to sit down and watch those animal shows. It must mean I'm getting older.
There's another show, Forged in Fire.
Forged in stuff. Yeah. But they make the like swords and stuff.
I'm never gonna make a sword, ever.
Really?
But I am fascinated by that show. It's an amazing show. If you haven't seen it, they have sword maker artisans that come on. It's like kind of like a reality, almost like a game show, and they'll say you got to make this type of sword and to these certain specifications, and they have all the stuff there on the show where they can do their stuff, and they're grind. I'm using hand gestures like you all can see it, like their stuff, and they put it together. Then they have to, when they're done with it, they take the swords and they put it through a test. How well it will the sword actually kill? How sturdy it is, and the show is just fascinating. It's great.
It's maybe something you'd stumble across when you're like really bored and there's nothing good on TV, and you come across this, and you're like, oh, hey, what's going on here? And then you like start watching, and you're like, I can't stop.
That is exactly how I found it. I was working third shift at work, and we got this. If you're gonna work third shift, better be at work. It was on the TV, and we just watched it during break, and then now I watch it on Hulu, and it's good stuff.
Yeah, I've caught it before. It was pretty interesting. Then I like to watch the those guys that look for antiques.
Oh, yes, American Pickers.
American Pickers, yeah, that's a good show. And I always used to watch the Pawn Stars too. I don't think they're as popular as the dad died, didn't he?
The old man died.
Old man.
That show was just all right. All reality shows are fake,
to
a certain extent, because I've always said this example. I worked for years at. If you don't know this about me, I worked for years in the pizza business, and we could totally make a reality show on the pizza
shop. Yeah,
all the crazy
it
stuff
would be
we saw.
The entertaining part would probably be all the different customer clientele.
Oh my God, the drivers, the people I had working for me. God, some of the best people work for me. I'm still friends with them. I had some of the weirdest creeps ever. ever
worked. When you work in customer service, you just get all kinds of people.
Well, when you worked at Burger
King,
King,
some stories
right?
to tell.
You had
yeah.
some weird weirdos work with you there, I'm
man,
sure.
I'll tell you what.
And some customers that were crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That would be a good reality show is take the cameras behind the scene in, pizza shop or restaurant or whatever, and like a lot of these shows today, they'll make fun of workers like, The Office, and then there's one that kind of like they work at either like a Walmart or a Best Buy store and they try to make fun of them. They need to take the cameras back on the other side of the counter and make fun of the customers and show what kind of bizarre, crazy stuff that people that work in this industry get hit with every day, because there's some pretty interesting people out there, I'll tell you.
Hold on a second, Dan. I'm going to try something here. Oh, that's the wrong one. I was hoping for some. Do you got any like?
That sounds like something from the Brady Bunch.
Do you got any on your end? Do you got any theme show, game show music?
No, I'm not hooked up. You are.
All right. Hey, all right, everybody. We're gonna play everyone's favorite game. Has Dan seen this movie? I'm gonna thank you.
I guess I'm contestant number 1.
My name's Skip Winkingdale, and I'm here live.
Hi, Skip. How you doing?
Doing great. All right, Dan's our contestant, and we're gonna name a movie. And if Dan has seen it,
wait, can I say one thing first? I just want to put a plug in for the Joe and Dan podcast show. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, that's cute. Anyways. Okay, now Dan, you said that how about a show that like showed the customer side of it?
Right.
Have you seen the movie called Clerks?
I have not.
Wait, hold on a second. I should add this up.
Who's in that? Right.
That's Kevin Smith's.
That's from.
He's getting it. He's close. Is it Pressure Luck? No.
It's Truth or Consequences, wasn't it? No, Price is Right. The Price is Right. Is that right? The Price is Right. Am I right?
Let's see. Judges. All right.
Wait, is it yes or no?
It's yes. You're
okay, right. Cool. Next question. This is fun. All right.
But anyways, on Clerks,
you don't have any more?
They're all. This is an epic trolling board. So, what's this? I don't know what this is. It says Falcon.
Falcon punch.
Hey, this one I got this one too. Ready?
I got nothing. I like that. That's a record scratch.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Wookie.
Hey, there's a yodel. Let's see what it is. All right, so Dan is I make fun of Dan a lot for not seeing movies, but this guy has,
or because I interrupt you all the time.
He goes out in the world and he does really cool stuff. When I was younger, we look at our 20s in a nutshell. I was working, going home, watching movies, and this guy was going on road trips, and he did so many cool things. So don't ever think that I'm saying I'm cooler than this guy. This is one of the coolest guys I know. And if you ever get a chance to meet Dan, ask him the story about him driving all night to Myrtle Beach and finding that bar that was underground and coming out. Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right. I'm going to play a soundboard clip of a famous person. Let's see how many you can get it.
Okay. I'm game.
Call me when you meet someone who does that more than I do.
Do it. Can I get a retake on that one?
Oh, yeah. You can hear that one again, too.
All right.
Call me when you meet someone who does that more than I do.
Oh,
I feel sorry for liberals.
Yeah. Oh man, I know who it is.
I'll give you another one.
These military guys are my blood brothers.
It's Ted Nugent.
Yeah, hey, all right.
It's Ted Nugent. Yeah.
Chop their heads off.
All right, give me another one.
Oh, that was pretty cool. I got zero problem with Ted Nugent getting on political and stuff. I don't care. I think he still wails on the effing guitar.
He does.
I don't understand like people like, I don't listen to Green Day anymore because they're too liberal. Well, they still think damn good music.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes performers just need to. We don't care what they think politically or anything. Just sing your songs.
But I mean,
man. Regard both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's continue.
All right, let's find another one here. This is gonna be too easy, but I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna see if I can find some hard ones on here. Dan, what is your favorite movie?
Indiana Jones, James Dean movies. What I like Clint Eastwood movies.
All right, you
Steve
ready?
McQueen.
I'm not responsible for any cussing on this.
All right.
I don't get the question.
Oh, come on. My cousin Vinny. Joe Pesci. My cousin Vinny.
No.
Yeah, you're right. That was Joe Pesci. That's a great movie, my man.
Excellent. That was on TV the other night.
If I was getting up in the morning.
Now that, Mr. Cheese Man. Hey, Kyle, I tell you what.
Oh, Cheese. Yeah, our buddy Cheese.
I would love to see a remake. Not a remake, but a sequel to My Cousin Vinny. That would be outstanding.
I don't know how you would do it, though.
I think, he'd just have another case.
Well,
you know?
It's been so long. Marissa Tomei was so beautiful in that movie. Oh, my word.
She was good in that movie. They were both good. I mean, the chemistry was good between.
She won an Oscar for that.
Yeah, it was great. That was a great movie.
I like when he was talking about getting.
And speaking of which, Ralph Macchio was in that movie.
Oh yeah,
too.
he sure was.
Yeah.
I like when he's talking about getting the right clothes to go out hunting, and she's like, "So this little deer is sitting next to a stream, and he's drinking. You walk up to him, bam, blow his brains off. You think he gives an F what kind of pants you're wearing?"
I like when the part where she's talking about her biological clock ticking, and then he's talking about how stressed he is with his upcoming case, and he's doing this and that and this and that, and he stomps his foot on the porch. He says, "Why, your biological clock is ticking."
I'll tell you another good Joe Pesci movie. It's called The Super.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Hey, all right, 2 in a row. You're
hey,
on fire.
bing bing.
All right, this is
usually when he mentions movies, I haven't seen them. He sees them all, and I'm like, he's like, "You seen that movie, Dan?" No.
This is a tough one. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I look at the soundboard list, and there's the key ones I'll give away whoever it is. So we're gonna find some hard ones first. Ready?
Make a joke. Say you don't believe what they're saying.
Is that a cartoon?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
It hurts their feelings.
I don't know what, but I know it's
Tell them you got someplace to be.
Krusty the Clown.
Dog biscuits. Dog biscuits.
Who is it?
All right, I'll get them easier. All right, let's see.
You're not gonna tell
Here
me.
to help you stay safe.
Okay, I don't know who it is. So who is
you
it?
give up?
I give up.
That's me. McGruff the crime dog.
Oh, okay, McGruff the crime dog. Okay.
See, if I would have started with this.
Take a bite out of crime.
I would have known that. Yep.
Moody teenager.
Well, that's the only thing you really hear is "take a bite out of crime."
Yeah, I said it was tough.
I mean, the rest of it's,
Ooh.
that was really a commercial, wasn't it?
No, it was
a public
service
announcement. Yeah.
All right, this is either going to be very easy for you or very difficult.
All right.
Because I don't know if you watched this show. This is another cartoon.
Okay.
Coming in at number 10. I should have put that one up on the other. Now, this could be a hard one. You might know this, you might not. I don't think you watched this show, so I won't go as long as I did with McGruff.
Perhaps we could work something out. Oh, jackpot!
This is Herbert the...
It's evident that you watched cartoons a lot when you were younger.
Amos now. It's bath day. You like popsicles?
I have no idea who this is.
That's from Family Guy. Damn it, Bobby.
Okay.
Oh, here's one. Oh, you know this guy.
Okay.
This is an imitation I claim to do that just sounds like me changing my voice a little bit. Oh, that's every one of my impressions. I'm sorry. This is Dan trying to guess who's on the soundboard. All right, you ready?
Yep.
So if you're having a bad day, you know what you do?
Get over it.
That's Dr. Phil.
Very good.
I'm not some schmo here. So how are you doing overall?
I'm doing good, Dr. Phil.
What do you want from me today?
Nothing.
What's your question?
My question is, can you guess these popular TV show themes? You have 13 to 15 seconds to guess. Guess the show from the theme song. You ready?
Right. I'm ready.
Here we go. You ready? Okay.
Ready.
Number 1.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Friends.
Nice job. Excellent, excellent. Friends is the answer. Now, number 2.
Addams Family.
Nah.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky. Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a scream. The Addams
That's
Family.
correct. It's the Addams Family.
X-Files.
That's correct. Number 4.
Here's the
Brady
story
Bunch.
of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their
Number 5.
To be astonished.
This is a tough one. Lost in Space?
Nope. Doctor Who.
Oh.
Number 6.
Shot.
Doctor Who's. Well, this is Die Hard 17. I heard the promo on the podcast. Game of Thrones.
Number 7.
Whatever happened to predictability?
Family Matters.
Man, the paperboy, evening TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. This whole world's confusing me. Clouds is meaning you ever see.
Sorry.
That's not Family Matters?
Full House.
Oh, whatever.
Number 8.
Now this is a
Story all about how my life gets flipped right upside down. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how I became.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
In Westville with
Number 9.
Oh, this is Lost in Space. No. Oh, Star Trek.
Yeah. Star Trek. And how many of you at home are guessing the right answer? All right, that was Star Trek. Number 10. Here we go.
our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly
14 million years ago,
expansion started. Wait,
Big Bang Theory.
the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed.
That's correct.
Built a wall.
Big Bang Theory. It's still on today.
All started with a big bang.
Excellent. Number 11.
I have no clue.
It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Wow, that's
Number
pretty
12.
Nerd alert. Price is wrong, B-word.
We just had this one earlier. What is it? The Price is Right. Excellent. Number 13. Are we having fun yet?
Oh, yeah, Bob.
400 police vehicles came walking. They were busting up in that weird old white dude's house. He had a phone up in there. White dudes hold the record for creepy crimes. But females.
I have no idea what this one is.
Unbreakable. They alive, damn it. It's America.
It's a Netflix show called The
Unbreakable
Unbreakable
Kimmy
Kimmy
Schmidt.
Schmidt. Yeah. Well, too late on that one.
Whatever.
Oh, this sounds familiar. You know this?
No clue.
Mad Men.
No, I don't watch that
That's
either.
Netflix too.
That A&E, I think.
Isn't it? Number 15.
This is Family Matters.
Is it?
Yeah.
On the newspaper page. Love and tradition.
The Urkel Show.
The grand design. Some people say is even hard.
And the answer is
Well, then there must be some
Family Matters. Number 16. Got a lot of these.
A-Team?
Oh, I think so. The answer is the A-Team. That's correct.
All right.
And we got number 17 now.
Saved by the Bell. It's all right.
That's correct. Saved by the Bell for 200 points. Number 18.
The animals, trap till the cages
Oh, this is
the cages fall.
Orange is the New Black.
And everyone is waiting on
Yeah,
you.
Netflix. Orange is the New Black.
Okay. The answer is that's correct. I've never watched the show. Number 19.
Muppet Show, baby.
That's it, man.
Music on the American
It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to get things started.
The answer is
It's time to get things
The
started.
Muppet Show. And 20. I think this is the last one.
Twilight Zone. Thank you. Final answer.
That's right. Number
You're
20.
traveling to another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the
You know what? You know what? That was a great show, too. Man, there's more, but we're not going to do it. 20 is enough. Probably people out there listening. Okay, you guys done with this already?
This is a real hard one. You ready?
Yeah.
I am the Count.
That's Count Dracula.
1,
Count
2,
Chocula. Count Chocula. That's
3, 4,
from Sesame
5.
Street. Sesame Street.
It's the Count. Yeah.
The Count. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'm the darling.
I don't care who you are. There's a Cookie Monster soundboard, too.
So the next podcast, we'll be exploring more soundboards. If there's anything you guys would like us to do, talk about, whatever, let us know. Give us some ideas. It's always fun to have
hopefully
some.
we won't be as long before we do this again. We just need to bust out and do it. And as you can, we say that every time, don't we?
I know. I always tell them, man, don't say that because it's like now we're on our biannual podcast. It's obviously we're purely an amateur podcast, and we all have our lives and our work schedules that tend to keep us from staying on a regular schedule. So we are attempting to work that out, but
with all due respect,
in the meantime,
we had no agenda today, as you can probably tell.
Nah, and it was fun though. We were just like, hey, let's do a podcast. Okay, what do you want to talk about? I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
So anyway, we miss Britt on this one. Hopefully she'll be back on the next podcast. So we're both waving at you right now, Brittany, and hope you're listening. And if she can't make it, maybe we can have her call in. And because I know we were talking some stuff right up her alley today, because she always likes to give us the latest news report from Hollywood and the movie land and everything, and also the music.
And if you've just stumbled on our podcast, by the way, God bless your little heart. And
welcome. Where are you from? We'd like to know.
You can leave a comment on the YouTube post,
or we do have a Facebook page as well.
That's right. What's the name of that thing?
I think it's called the Joe and Dan Podcast Show Facebook page or something like that. I don't know.
It's a public page. Let me see.
Hang on for a second. We got crickets.
They change the layouts of it. It's like, hey, look at this new page, like 0. Post reach 2. We're up 71%. Excuse me.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's a public page. Just look up the Joe and Dan Podcast. It's got a nice little picture of our original microphone.
I guess we'll see you the next time on the podcast, eh?
So I hope I see you before that.
Oh,
'cause
maybe.
If you don't see me the next time we do a podcast, I won't see you till like, summer 2020.
Well, that'll probably be the next podcast. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We had a good time. Hope you did too. And we are out of here.
Okay, bye. I stole Brittany's act there. Brittany, we love you.